Namaskaram. My name is S. Ashok Kumar. Welcome to my channel. In the last part, I explained about the exchange of the gases like oxygen and carbon dioxide. Now, in this part, I am going to start transport of the gases. Okay, na? How oxygen will transport in the blood, how the carbon dioxide will transport in the blood. Okay, na? Now, first, I am going to explain about the transport of oxygen in the blood. Actually, this oxygen transport in two forms. Oxygen transport in two forms. The first form, that is a major form, is in the form of oxyhemoglobin. You understood? Oxyhemoglobin means oxygen transport by combines with the hemoglobin. This, out of 100% of the oxygen, if you consider, 97% of oxygen, 97% of the oxygen in our body transport by combines with the hemoglobin, that is in the form of oxyhemoglobin. The remaining 3%, that is in dissolved state in plasma. That is the dissolved state, remaining 3%. So, remaining 3% of the oxygen that transport in the dissolved state. Why with 3% only? As I said, oxygen is very less soluble in the water, that is in the blood. So, mainly oxygen is transport in the form of oxyhemoglobin. That is why first we have to understand about the hemoglobin. Okay. So, in the hemoglobin, there is 15 grams of hemoglobin per 100 ml of blood. How many grams? 15 grams of hemoglobin per 100 ml of the blood. Here, 1 gram of hemoglobin, Hb stands for hemoglobin, carry 1.34 ml of oxygen when it is a 100% saturation. 100% saturation is practically impossible. Okay, anyhow. So, as a result, 100 ml of blood means oxygenated blood. 100 ml consists of how many grams? 15 grams. Na? 15 grams into 1.34. Approximately 20 ml of oxygen carry when it is a 100% saturation. But practically, how much saturation of hemoglobin possible? Only 97%. That is why I am telling 100 ml of oxygenated blood carry 19.4 ml of oxygen when it is a 97% of saturation. Why I call 97%? Practical saturation is only possible at a 97%. When the partial pressure of oxygen is 100%, hemoglobin is saturated only 97%. That is why every 100 ml of the oxygenated blood carries the 19.4 ml of oxygen. When it is practically saturated, that is a 97% of the saturation. This is about the general information. Next, I am telling about the structure of hemoglobin. Here one point you need to understand. That is why I am taking exactly every molecular structure of hemoglobin. I will explain in the next topic, that is body fluids and circulation. Here this hemoglobin, when we pronounce itself, you can understand hemoglobin alpha to beta 2. Hemoglobin is actually iron containing a red color pigment, that is a protein, multimeric protein. This is represented by alpha to beta 2, that is a HbA, hemoglobin in adult. There is a alpha to gamma 2, that is a hemoglobin in fetus, that we will speak separately. Hemoglobin, somebody pronounced, that belongs to hemoglobin in adult. It consists of 4 polypeptide chains. 2 alpha polypeptide chain, 2 beta polypeptide chains. Here, each polypeptide chain associated to one heme group. So, 4 polypeptide chains means associated to 4 heme groups. each heme containing one ion in the oxidation state only +2. So 4 heme means 4 ion. Each ion that is in +2 state associated with one molecular oxygen. As a result, what you need to understand? One hemoglobin molecule, if you take, consists of 4 polypeptide chains, 4 heme groups, 4 ions associated with 4 molecular oxygen. This point important. One hemoglobin molecule combines with a maximum of 4 molecular oxygen at its saturation point. This point important. Maximum how many number of molecular oxygen can one hemoglobin can combine means 4 molecular oxygen. This is the one point. The next what I said, 100 ml of oxygenated blood carries a 19.4 ml. Under normal condition, under normal means the person in the normal state, physiological activities are normal. 100 ml of oxygenated blood deliver 5 ml to tissues. See this one, this is you can understand how much total it is carrying, 19.4 ml per 100 ml. Out of 19 point, how much it is giving to the tissue? Only 5. Again remaining total almost 15%, again 15 ml, again it is carrying back. It is under normal condition. Under stressful condition. Stressful condition means a person is doing the severe exercise. That is why I say severe exercise, when it's the demand of the oxygen is increased by the tissue. 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver up to 15 ml of oxygen to the tissues. This point you have to remember. Under normal physiological condition, 100 ml of oxygenated blood can deliver 5 ml of oxygen to the tissues. When a person is in the stress condition or severe exercise condition, it can deliver up to 15 ml of oxygen to the tissues. So these 2 points for the exam, NEET exam point of view, this is important. As I said, 97% of the oxygen is carried by the hemoglobin. That is why here hemoglobin combines with the oxygen in reversible manner. That I will tell you. That results the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin. At the same time, this oxyhemoglobin can dissociate into hemoglobin and oxygen. That is why oxygen combines with hemoglobin in reversible manner through non-covalent interactions. Okay, na? So, what are the factors that influences the association of oxygen with the hemoglobin, and what are the factors that influences the dissociation of oxygen from the hemoglobin? The main factor that influences this association and dissociation is partial pressure of the oxygen. So first you take, this is the association or formation of the oxyhemoglobin. This is influenced by where partial pressure of oxygen should be high, PO2 should be high, where oxyhemoglobin is favored to form. What are the remaining factor means that environment where PCO2 should be less. Okay? pH should be high. Okay? pH is a general relatively less important factor. Temperature and pH. pH is less means what? Acidity is low. Okay? Temperature is less. Where the temperature is low, relatively there is a more chance of the oxyhemoglobin formation. Then one important factor, there is a less presence of 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate. You can hear it is a diphosphoglycerate also. This is bisphosphoglycerate. So these are the factors. Means these factors where they are present, that means where there is a high PO2, low PCO2, high pH, low temperature and low 2,3-bisphosphoglycerol. These conditions where they are present, more chance of the formation of the oxyhemoglobin. Now I am asking you here, high PO2, high PCO2, where it is present? Definitely at lungs. At lungs. Now, what we will tell? At lungs there is a formation of the oxyhemoglobin. That's the correct only. But what we need to understand is that there are number of factors like all these things at lungs that influences the formation of the oxyhemoglobin. That unit, the factors influencing the formation of oxyhemoglobin at the lungs. Now, what are the factors that influences the dissociation? Where PO2 should be less, PCO2 should be high, then pH is a less. pH is a less is nothing but acidity is more. So next one is a temperature is a high. The next one, there is a high presence of 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate. These factors influences the dissociation of oxygen from the hemoglobin. These factors, as we know, at the tissues. Because at the tissues, PO2 is low, that is a 40 only. PCO2 is high at a 45. Acidity, how it become acidity? When a person doing the exercise, automatically there is a formation of lactic acid. Because of the lactic acid, automatically what H plus concentration is high. Thereby acidity is high. Temperature, as a result of this metabolism or exercise, body temperature, that muscles temperature will increase. 2,3-bisphosphoglycerate, if it is a high, that makes this will go and binds with the oxyhemoglobin, force the hemoglobin to be dissociated from the oxygen. These are the factors where that hemoglobin get dissociated from the oxygen. These factors are mainly present at the tissues. That is why I am telling hemoglobin combines with oxygen in a reversible manner. The main factor influences the association and dissociation is partial pressure of oxygen. The remaining factors include a partial pressure of carbon dioxide, pH, temperature. Those also influences the binding of hemoglobin with oxygen. So till now this is comes under this part 8. Next part, coming parts, I am going to explain the oxygen dissociation curve and different factors influences the oxygen dissociation curve. After that, I will explain the transport of carbon dioxide. Then regulation and diseases I will explain. Till now, if you understand this concept, please like and share this video to your friends and subscribe our channel. If you have any doubts about this chapter for the NEET exam or board exam, you comment below. Definitely I will respond to your questions. Thank you.